Governor Parkop responds to rowdy anti-vaxers. Act Now lodges complaint to Ombudsman Commission. And public servant resigns to contest election.
This is National EMTV News with Dennis Orere.
Good evening and welcome. This is Friday's news. NCD Market Vendors Association today staged another protest at the Golden Market in the nation's capital following yesterday's protest at the City Hall. The vendors are against the no jab, no entry policy imposed by the City Hall at market facilities. NCD Governor Parkop was there to hear their grievances and responded to the rowdy crowd.
A protest against vaccination and for freedom of choice by the NCDC Market Vendors Association, representing all sellers, youths and contractors engaged in the city markets, was staged today at the city's biggest market, the Golden Market. This protest comes after a set of measures set out by the city authorities earlier this week on the use and access of NCDC-sanctioned facilities only by showing proof of vaccination. A number of views were raised by the protesters. A vendors rep, Sana Dokopa, said while they don't want the vaccination, they need more awareness.
So Miki se mouse blow, me play all geta, me play no one bell or this last suit. Me play no one bell or this last suit because no got proper awareness. All doctor, he talk out all sciences, he talk out all them. Time me play kiss him this last suit. One name good play by come up, and by protecting me blow so one name. Now one name no good he come up. Now all taste him this last suit lo one name all animal or one name all human being all this la. No got proper awareness. Lo this la reason me play less. Now me play poret. You know less but me play poret.
Claiming there is proof of deaths from vaccination.
Why me bla poret? Because some man marry, plenty man marry all kiss him, shoot long him only die. Me got evidence is stop. Plenty kiss him, shoot only die. Now me bla lig man marry lo street there, no got one blind die. Me bla stop yet, me bla racist yet, lo das na, sam na. Me bla find him all kai ke bla me bla. So question blow me bla less lo kiss him suit. Ta solem number 1 point, me kiss him mouse blow all geta. Now give him back this la freedom or like right blow me bla lo like blow bla like kiss him suit, me bla oxim. Me bla no like kiss him suit, me bla less. But proper awareness must come up.
Youth representatives also aired their frustration on the measure of service upon proof of vaccination.
Last time Miko lo kisim check blow mangi and ablo and chirsi all talking me you baksim shoot past them na go inside na baiksim check blow mangi mino amamas lo disla that's why missing atim all mangi kalablo bas na kamanda vol kalablo bas na kam mande na all puti kam teste mi blo okim big blo samdi na ablo hobbies pli and up lo shoot tasol akensim dila shoot mi blo less lo kisim shoot eh.
They said taking such stance as entry by show of the green card for vaccination is an infringement onto their human rights.
You talk awesome, la suit, but you talk awesome over kisim. You know, exercising is the democratic rights and all. The freedom of rights, the liberty. You must show awesome. Time anything, we brother make him the country, we normally make awareness. Awareness, numbers got disadvantage now. Advantage them. Also, COVID-19 sick am coming inside. Okay, you man Mary Masawa say you must make him Muslim. Sick by you die. You must make him Muslim, take him worse. This awareness you know come. So the governors respect them always blue. That's all. People are confused now sing out you. I'm straight up. Now we must celebrate rights to people, governor. Because your human rights where? You must celebrate rights for people.
Governor Parkop in response said no one made vaccination mandatory but stands to encourage the masses for vaccination.
No got line like stop him rights flow you. You got right lo decide lo ksim or not to ksim. Em like blow you. But me blow yet, lo side blow me yet, me by continue long. Advocate na encourage him you lo ksim. You can try him, steam. You can ksim kai blow you me. You can walk him when I can kai blow you me like walk him or when I'm kind something you like you seem to protect him you me encourage him you too. But on top of this law, me by still encouraging you yet look sim vaccine. Big plus something em virus em stop em real. Now some of long stop you 1 man Mary. Where you like protect him you, where you like look out him you like stop him you know can die and stop you. But government emi give him you one blow option where emi can help him you. So I'm choice for you. You like sim or you not like sim? I'm choice for you.
Parkop illustrated the importance of vaccination in keeping businesses operating.
Line you go in CDC, why you must sim vaccination, why must sim card long. Lo soimos and you work in test. Okay, me like give you blah example. So was J Mat stop. Now all got a man Mary only line inside long, J-Mat, or plenty long all, or number of them, all sim, there's a virus now, sim sick. Okay, J-Mat by him must force or close down. Now, so was J-Mat even close down. Business here, and by suffer now, and can collapse. So, wait, you blow him past them. You blow him past them.
While the governor responded to all their grievances, most were not satisfied with the response. Kilawani National MTV News.
Meanwhile, in Leh, police in Leh were out monitoring the city today following rumors of a protest over COVID-19 vaccinations. Leh's Metropolitan Commander Chris Kunyanban said no formal correspondences were made to the Metropolitan Commander regarding the protest, and police worked on dispersing crowds as there have been a lot of cases of looters and opportunists during such events. He said while police are concerned about the general safety in the city, some of the questions asked by residents today also needs to be answered by relevant authorities.
This was the scene along the Independence Drive this morning in Leh. Crowds walking to Eriku were dispersed by police in fear of looters and opportunists. After addressing the crowd here, Leh's Metropolitan Commander Chris Kunyanban and police officers moved to Eriku, where an even larger crowd gathered, attempting to march into town.
We play mini operation today, starting as early as 4 o'clock in the morning. We play policeman triple strategic location.
Since the beginning of this week, there have been rumors about the protest over COVID-19 vaccinations. However, Mr. Kunyanban said there were no correspondences made to his office. While speaking to the crowd gathered at St. Mary's this morning, he reiterated on the government's stance for voluntary vaccinations. Maria Ken, one of the women we spoke to, questioned why the no jab, no job policies were being implemented.
Why not time Prime Minister am talk them time vaccine am optional? Why no company all enforcing this lab compulsory? No vaccine, no job, no job policy.
In an interview this afternoon, Mr. Kunyanban said some of the questions raised by the people have to be answered by medical professionals. He also said the flow of information from relevant authorities to the people have to be clear.
So you looking lack of information now, and we make him all man long. Come on, only seek him answers long. Some of the questions were all it non answer him. Now me to me non answer him, and go back long all NARPLA department which me no qualified to talk, all let boli talk long.
Lucy Kopana, National MTV News, Leh.
The lockdown in Eastern Highlands province has been extended for another 14 days. Eastern Highlands Provincial COVID-19 Coordination Committee met on the 28th of this month and resolved to extend the lockdown to limit people's movement and break the transmission cycle of the virus. Provincial Controller John Gimiseve said the new measures for the lockdown comes into effect on Monday, 1st November 2021. All orders have been renewed with curfew running from 2 p.m. to 6 a.m. Correctional service officers have been called in to assist police effect the curfew. Entry into the province is strictly monitored as well. Non-government organization Act Now has lodged a formal complaint to the Ombudsman Commission. In a letter to the watchdog, Act Now wrote to the Chief Ombudsman requesting for OC to conduct an investigation into the purchase of the 40 Maserati motor cars in the lead-up to the 2018 APEC Leaders Summit. Act Now campaign coordinator Eddie Tanago called on Ombudsman Commission to also publicly publish findings of the investigation.
In a publication today, Act Now called for an investigation into the much talked about Maserati cars. The NGO says it is evident that the move by the then government was a terrible mistake. Tanago says the decision to purchase these luxurious cars attracted attention and criticism over government's performance.
Act Now has filed a complaint to the Ombudsman Commission on the 2018 APEC Maseratis. The purchase of those fancy vehicles has not created any material benefit, but has created anger and negativity amongst the public, and has also painted a bad image of PNG globally.
Tanago also stated that the investigation must establish who made the decision to purchase these 40 sports cars, who the vehicles were purchased from, total cost, and whether all necessary financial procedures were followed. Act Now believes all this needs to be verified in OC's investigation.
We believe it is therefore essential that an investigation be held to establish whether there was any wrong conduct or defective steps taken.
Part of the letter to OC also stated that the publication of the APEC Maserati deal investigation is essential to provide public trust in government institutions.
Such an investigation will help to restore public trust in the institutions of the government and also help to improve our international reputation and standing.
Last month, the Department of Finance launched a recoup exercise for APEC properties and assets. Those currently using and keeping vehicles and other items have been urged to return them. This exercise is continuing with only a few assets returned.
It's high time you return those vehicles immediately, and no can give him a hard time. No can let him go through sweat and unnecessary challenges to recover vehicles that do not belong to you, but belong to the people of Papua New Guinea.
Jaglo Pava Jr., National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. We'll have more stories after a break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. A public servant in Western Highlands is the first in the province to resign to contest the 2022 national general elections. His resignation follows the amendment of the 1995 Public Service Act for all public servants to resign 12 months prior to the issue of writs. Pim Mamindi was the former Western Highlands Deputy Provincial Administrator, Corporate Services.
Pim Mamindi has resigned to contest the Western Highlands regional seat next year.
Me must talk to all Western Highlanders because me public servant to 38 years them. Also me now comrades lo me staff lo Papua New Guinea lo Mosby lo Ley. Whenever all staff, all must look sour also. Sorry, Pim Mamindi I'm resign long contest to 2022 Western Highlands regional seat.
Public servants who wish to contest the national general elections must resign 6 months before the issuing of writs. The former Deputy Provincial Administrator, Corporate Services, said the amendment of the Public Service Act would impact the public servants as they will become jobless if they are unsuccessful.
But me start 6 months finish. After the campaign supposed to fail, me go back to the department because me put over me go. So same situation it was me must go back, but no goddamn you say. Go to place na planning kumuna about na stuff.
Parliament recently passed the amendment of the Public Service Management Act 1995 that will see public servants intending to contest must resign 12 months before the issuing of writs. But this will take effect before the 2027 national general elections. However, public servants who are unsuccessful in the 2022 elections will not be allowed back into the public service until after 5 years.
One of the reforms, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Deputy Speaker, in the administrative sector was to review the Public Service Management Act 1995 on the provisions relating to the resignation of public servants to contest the general elections. It was interesting to note where the interests of our public servants lie in the course of their service to the state, noting that as servants of the state, they were to commit themselves fully to serving the state. Mr. Deputy Speaker, in a major consultative discussion on this matter, the government believes that we need to draw the line so that the public service can operate on its own without the interference of those public servants who wish to contest the elections, and noting from past experiences that those who contested the national elections the elections and were unsuccessful and returned back to the public service have always caused instability in the organizations.
Mamindi disagrees with the amendment of the 12 months resignation window, stating that it is too long and is unreasonable. He also said the 5-year wait to get back into public service is also unreasonable, and politicians need to be realistic in amending laws or passing parliament acts.
Me looking Mr. Public Servant, me looking something me plan not ban him road na working and this me plan to make him. Me plan check him. Me plan stab him, me plan plus threaten about this procedures and procedures already established. Me plan need him to work him something.
Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
A primary school in Northern Province surprised its grade 8 students with their graduation ceremony as soon as the final examination paper was completed. Sangara Primary School in the Sohe district held its 10th grade 8 graduation yesterday. Students were caught by surprise when teachers started handing out graduation gowns. All were ushered to the ceremony venue as soon as the final paper was completed. The school administration tried this approach to avoid a few students and the public turning up drunk and causing nuisance at the graduation ceremony, as was the case in the past. A total of 73 students graduated that day. 2 state-owned enterprises paid their dividends to Kumul Consolidated Holdings Limited yesterday amidst COVID-19-induced challenges. PNG Ports Corporation and Motor Vehicles Insurance Limited held dividend presentation ceremonies at KCH office, with State Enterprises Minister William Duma witnessing them. At a time when the COVID-19 pandemic is hitting hard on PNG's economy, state-owned enterprises have had their share of challenges. But some of the SOEs have continued to perform well and are still able to make profit and pay dividends. 2 of these organizations presented their dividends to Kumul Consolidated Holdings, the holding body of all SOEs, yesterday. PNG Ports Corporation paid the state its dividend of almost 21 million kina for the 2020 fiscal year. This payment comes at the backdrop of last year's net profit after tax of over 83 million kina. PNG Ports Board Chairman Kepas Wali said the payment was the outcome of prudent financial management and operational practices within PNG Ports and that the company is in a stable financial position despite being affected immensely by the pandemic. For Motor Vehicle Insurance Limited, the company paid 42.1 million kina in dividend to KCH for the financial year ending 31st December 2020. Despite COVID-19 impacts, MVIL was able to pay 67% of the budgeted dividend of 63.2 million kina. MVIL Managing Director Michael Parkop, in making the presentation, said the pandemic derailed the company from its strategic direction, resulting in a low turnover compared to 2019. Mr. Parkop said year 2020 has a bit lower returns because of the COVID-19 situation that hit the company badly, forcing it to close for 2 months, resulting in loss of revenue. But Mr. Parkop thanked Minister Duma for his wisdom and guidance in such a situation to get back onto the path of success and profitability. MVIL Board Chairman Eno Daira assured KCH and Minister Duma that the company will continue to pay its budgeted dividends year in, year out. Prime Minister James Marape says the international coconut community has pointed out that there is a high demand for coconut products. Revealing this, PM Marape said Papua New Guinea is ready to join hands with the 20 member nations and work towards the revolution of the coconut industry. He says with the world trapped under unprecedented times, coconut is the tree of life. Prime Minister Marape said the international coconut community must harness the potential of this commodity.
In recent years, in my role as Prime Minister, I'm encouraged to learn that there is a comeback in the coconut business. Some of you call it coconut revolution. And I'd like to, at this juncture, place my country's full support in the coconut revolution or coconut comeback. In the last 15 years, you have pointed to me and those of us in the political space that there is an increasing demand for coconut, especially high-value edible products has seen an increase in as far as the global consumer market is concerned. Let me say from outset, I am no expert in coconut, but I am an expert in trying to find solutions for human needs. And as I look into the future, with COVID-19, with lifestyle-related disease, with an increased appetite for organic food, with an increased demand for well-balanced, nutritious sort of food, coconut will emerge into the future as a premium sought-out fruit for life, and coconut trees will become tree for life.
And now looking at the NASFAD market report, the kina opened unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank market this morning. At Bank South Pacific, your kina is buying $0.3650 Australian dollars, $0.2775 US dollars, $0.3831 New Zealand dollars, and 31 points Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher, cocoa closed higher, coffee closed lower, crude oil is trading lower, palm oil closed lower, and copper closed lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading lower, and the All Ordinaries is trading higher. Trukai Sports is next. Details after the break.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The PNG Football Association has taken its first step on the road to qualifying for the FIFA World Cup in Qatar next year with the announcement of the 30-man squad for the PNG couples.
The PNG Football Association have finalized its 30-man squad for the national men's team, the PNG Couples. The team will be participating in the Oceania qualifiers in March of next year for the upcoming 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. During the couples training camp, coaches and members of PNG FA's technical department carried out individual player assessments based in the areas of tactical, athletic, and mental capabilities required of the modern footballer. New Zealand-based Tommy Sammy has confirmed his availability to join the PNG Couples, while Europe-based David Brown, who plays in the Finnish Premier League, is yet to confirm his availability. All COVID-19 requirements of players have also been undertaken to ensure that all individuals selected in the final team fully meet the criteria to qualify to travel abroad. Huxley Lovai, Chukai Sports.
That ends Chukai Sports. The weather report when we come back. Stay tuned.
Chukai Sports.
Chukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
Regional weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region. Port Moresby, mostly cloudy at times. Popondetta, mostly cloudy. Daru and Kerma, mostly fine, although cloudy at times. Alotau, mostly fine, partly cloudy. To the Momase region, Lae, partly cloudy with few showers. Partly cloudy periods for Medang, Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau and Kaveng, partly cloudy. Buka, Kokopo and Rabaul, mostly fine, partly cloudy. Kimbe, brief showers easing, then partly cloudy. To the Highlands region, Goroka and Kundiawa, partly cloudy with few patchy showers. Mendi and Wabeg, cloudy with rain showers.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
And that's the way it is this Friday, the 29th of October. From the news team, pleasant viewing. Good night.